I'm Nick Thomas with InfoSec Sync.
And I'm Matt Morris with InfoSec Sync.
And welcome to the 9th Annual National Cyber Summit in Huntsville, Alabama. Today we're speaking with Ms. Kathleen Smith from clearjobs.net, and we're going to get an insight into the cyber market with jobs within the area and within the nation. So welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here this bright and early morning.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
It's so great to be here for our second time. We were a sponsor last year for the National Cyber Summit. Clearjobs.net is a veteran-owned firm. Started in 2001. We focus on, in Clearjobs.net, in the security cleared market, helping employers who are cleared facilities employers find job seekers that have security clearances. 2 years ago, we were asked by the state of Maryland to run their Cyber Maryland Cyber Job Fair, and we started to notice that we had an opportunity to parlay our experience from our cleared job fairs into cyber job fairs. And we've now expanded that into Cyber Texas, working with women in cybersecurity doing their job fair, but also working with several of the CAE institutions to help students who are going through those programs to help them find a job. So it's been a very gratifying, fulfilling 17 years.
That's excellent.
Awesome. So I guess where we can start off with is, I think traditionally people are used to clearjobs.net, right? It's kind of been the, I would say, the anchor, right, of being able to log in and kind of find out what jobs are out there, what the job market looks like. So as far as the number of years that you guys have been providing this opportunity to the cleared market as well as the uncleared market, which is kind of deceiving because you guys were clearjobs.net and you also have another arm now, which is great. But how have you guys had to transform to stay up with the pace of information security and cybersecurity in general?
So what's unique about us is that we are both a job fair and a job board company. And we really see the importance for many of the employers and the job seekers to be able to use both of those tools, because not everyone resonates with a job board, not everyone resonates with the job fair. Specifically in the security cleared community, when you are looking at candidates who are going to be presented to hiring managers at a client site, you're looking at a 6 to 8 week hiring cycle. But if you can meet a candidate at a cleared job fair and be able to assess very quickly what skills he has or she has, would they fit into the client culture, you can shorten your hiring cycle, very quickly. What's also interesting is that it's about community building. Since we are a veteran-owned firm, we have always been out into the veteran community teaching job search skills.
That's great.
Yes, there are a lot of the military bases that have ACAP and TAP. However, they were sort of not able to incorporate job boards or social media skills. And job boards have consistently, for the last 15 years, been the number 2 way that employers find their candidates that they end up hiring. Number 1, obviously, is internal referral. So when we looked at those basic components of tools that both employers, job seekers use, not only job fair, job board, but also community outreach, that same basic model works within the cybersecurity community, because you have 2 or 3 basic sources of talent within the cybersecurity community. One is our transitioning veterans, and we always focus on transitioning veterans. And it's not only the transitioning veterans who have worked at any of the cyber commands, but it is also any transitioning veteran, because those skills, the leadership, the teamwork, the initiative, all of those skills that they learn in the military that is actually trained, they can bring to cybersecurity. We actually did a 12-part cybersecurity jobs blog series that interviewed various different veterans who were in different stages of their cybersecurity career. And we really saw that all of those skills could transfer very quickly into cybersecurity. We actually had someone who was a hospital corpsman, but in his spare time was playing around, going to hacking competitions and such, and he actually became the cybersecurity project lead for a major firm. We also looked at the hacking community and realized that there are many communities out there that are struggling to find jobs. And this has been sort of my passion over the last 4 years to say, why is there this shortage? Why is there talent gap? But then when I go to the DEF CONs, the B-sides, the hacking competitions, I'm constantly mentoring and coaching cybersecurity professionals who say, I don't know how to find a job. I don't understand why the recruiter won't get back to me. Why is this taking so long? Why don't they understand what I do? So through that, I've been volunteering at several of the hacking competitions and conferences over the last 3 years to incorporate a career track into all of their conferences, mainly because I think that's good feedback, good input that we can get from individuals. Do we need to cut this? No, okay.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So I've been volunteering at several of the competitions, several of the conferences to make sure that we understand clearly what is going on within the job seeker community. What is someone with 25 years of information security experience who doesn't have a graduate degree, why can't they find a job?
Right.
Why, based on the Department of Labor that says most technical people will turn over in their job every 11, 13 months, but it takes 18 months to be able to find that person, we're always going to be at a deficit. So one of the things that CyberSec Jobs has done is that we have been a major sponsor and partner with many of the B-Sides conferences and many of the white hat and black hat competitions that are out there so that we can understand what is in the mindset of the job seeker. And then finally, we've been working with several of the CAE institutions to better understand the challenges of students who are graduating from the NSA or DHS CAE institutions, because there are so many great institutions out there, but they don't have the career support or the career search skills that they can provide their students.
Right. So this is all great. And again, I know me and Nick, clearjobs.net, you know, it's definitely come in handy, and it's something that a lot of the cleared information security professionals use. But having the cybersec piece,
Mm-hmm.
right, where it doesn't necessarily have a lot of people see lack of clearance as not enabling you to be effective in the job market, but you guys allow somebody to be effective, to find the opportunities and a good match. Also,
if I can just interrupt
Sure.
on that. So one of the most gratifying things that I've had is been able to interview leaders within the government who started, eons ago with an engineering degree and talk about the commitment that they have to supporting the overall mission and how fulfilling public service is. And so many people are not really looking at public service as a way to be able to create a career. And it's interesting, a lot of people will come to us and they'll say, well, I just want a clearance. And they said, well, do you want a clearance because you want to support the mission, or do you want a clearance because you think you're going to get more money?
Right.
And we really have some very clear discussions with them about realizing that it is a life choice to do cleared work, and that it does put you and your family through considerable restrictions if you want to have a clearance. But if this is something you want to do and you want to commit yourself to it, all the power to you, but realize that to get that clearance, you need to have someone sponsor you. And in order to do that, my biggest recommendation to people is find a company that does both cleared and non-cleared work.
Right.
Go in, do the non-cleared work.
and then transition over.
And build your reputation, because they're not going to give you a clearance after 3 or 4 months of working with them.
It's a $35,000 to $55,000,
It's a
cost.
significant investment by
Yeah.
the company, and they always have to wonder if after sponsoring you for the clearance, if you're going to go work for another company.
Absolutely,
Right.
if you're going to jump ship. So Kathleen, with all the wealth and knowledge that you bring to your companies in clearjob.net, do companies reach out to you, or some government agencies reach out to you for help bringing people in, looking for the right talent?
So I've been honored to consult with several agencies as far as their workforce planning, their workforce strategy. I make sure that all of our customer service and our sales rep know much of the skills or the tips that I learned from the community so that they can advise all of our customers. And our customers are both cleared facilities employers and job seekers. We don't distinguish between the two. They are both our customers. And it is, several times people will just pick up the phone and pick my brain, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. But someone who calls me for 6-7 months, yes. I sort of say, you might want to buy our services first.
Right. So my question is this, and this goes along with the Cyber Cup challenge that we have here and the attendees of the conference. One thing that you guys have done that I think is very revolutionary is allowing the information security professional to denote when they come to these types of conferences. Whereas if you have professional certifications, you can use it for CPEs, but you guys are using it or allowing individuals to denote that they've been to these particular conferences as a resume adder, something that is, you have to be proud of the fact that you're supporting the community by coming out to these events. So as far as implementing that feature, right, through both of your product lines that you guys have that job seekers can use, have you seen that it's been a big benefit to candidates and individuals looking for candidates?
So we have found, and what was stated in the Hacking the Skills Shortage study that came out in 2016, is that globally, companies are looking for different levels of entry-level experience. Some are looking for just a bachelor's degree, others are working for a master's or a PhD. What's interesting is that we all say we don't have people who have experience, yet we have people who've been competing. I mean, DEF CON's been around for 25 years. It's their anniversary this year. There have been competitions that have been going locally, nationally, regionally, globally, and we're just on the beginning edge of this, of understanding how important having someone who has competed in a lot of the CTFs or the crypto challenges or any of the competitions, how important that is to evaluate that similar to work experience. Because when you look at being part of a capture the flag, it is very similar to a work situation. You find out a breach, you have a deadline, you are working with people that you've never met before, you don't know your resources, and you're working toward a goal. Right. And we just started to implement this within the last few months to be able to say, okay, if you have competed in any of the competitions, please list them on your profile. And we are coaching many of the recruiters and the employers as to the importance of this. Many in the community have already been doing that, but it has not been as widespread. So we are training recruiters to understand what that looks like, but we're also explaining to job seekers that you may not have enough work experience to get that job you want, but go and be part of a competition. Go and be part of one of these challenges to be able to say, I've learned this technical skill, this is what I learned, this is what I did. But also using the competitions is not only your technical challenge, but also your communication. How do you get that information from your team members? How do you turn around and explain it to your management? So using this as a full work experience exercise.
Right. Awesome. Well,
that's great.
That's great. So thank you, Kathleen. We appreciate
Kathleen.
it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for staying in sync with InfoSec Sync.